There's a power within you. It lifts your life to its highest level. It brings companionship, happiness, health, success, and peace of mind. As you tap into this power, it will respond to you because this power is within you. And that's why spirituality rocks. Welcome. I'm your host, Janine Burns, and do I have a show for you today? We're talking today about creativity. New Thought, which is what we teach here on Spirituality Rocks, we teach practical spirituality, believes that there's one presence and power in the universe that expresses in you, through you, and as you. We believe that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Not just the casual thoughts you think, but thoughts that you think over and over that form a pattern in the subconscious mind, and then through the law of mind, or what you may have heard called the law of attraction, draws and attracts people, circumstances, and events that corresponds to your thinking. And so, whatever you want to call it, the universe, God, infinite intelligence, spirit, divine love, that power is within you and seeks to express through you. And you are creative. So what I want to do is let you know, we had a little creativity going on here. We have affirmation cards. We invite you to send a self-addressed stamped envelope to GLF, that's the Guiding Light Foundation. It's a not-for-profit organization that I founded and that I direct. And if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope, we're happy to send you these affirmation cards. And what they do is they empower you and inspire you every single day to help you to remember that there is a power within you, and so that you can really live from that power. And the whole concept of Spirituality Rocks is that each week that we, in teaching practical spirituality, we bring you nationally renowned guests who will inspire you and empower you to live from your divine nature, and that you can learn skills for life mastery. And today I'm very pleased to present my in-studio guests. Usually I have Skype guests, but today I have in-studio guests. And so I would like to introduce to you two. This is Karen Gigante. Karen Gigante is a decorative painter, and she is also a New Thought minister. The Reverend Karen Gigante, welcome to Spirituality Rocks.
Thank you. So happy to be here again.
And I'm so thrilled, and it's such divine synchronicity, this guest that is here. This is the leader of the band, Wondrous Stories. This is Kenny Forgione. Welcome to the show, Kenny.
Hi, how are you?
And you know, Kenny belongs on this show, Karen, and I'll tell you why. I've asked Kenny for a while and his wife, could you please be on the show? Could you please be on the show? And he said, yeah, one day he'd be on the show. Well, the other day I was at Dublin Deck, which is, for those of you who don't know, Madhouse TV Studios. We film live in Deer Park, Long Island. And I was at Dublin Deck watching another local band with Danny.
45 RPM.
45 RPM, and it was fantastic. And the friend I'm with is not that into that kind of music, so it was time to leave. And instead of walking in the way we came, I said, you know what, I want to walk this way, because it was too uncomfortable to walk the other way on the ground. Walk this way. Just happened to walk past Kenny, and the guest that I had scheduled had canceled. And I was like, okay, universe. And I said, Kenny, would you be on the show? And he said, I think I can make it. And so here you are, and I'm so grateful.
Well, nobody was supposed to know I was out at Dublin Deck that day. No, I'm kidding.
Well, they know now.
Oops. So it's just the synchronicity, which we talk about a lot, of synchronicity. So what I want to talk about today is creativity, and I want to talk about divine creativity. Many of us were brought up, and in verbal and nonverbal ways, we were taught things, a lot of things that just weren't true. Or we learned things, and we thought, you know, we gleaned information like I'm not smart enough, or how am I going to make it, or I'm stupid, or all sorts of negative ideas. And so we were taught information that was not true, and a lot of times weren't told positive things about us that were true. And a lot of times we figured information out by our own conclusions. And it was misinformation. And I have a story, this is from my friend Michelle. She was a very little girl. She used to love to draw, and she would draw and draw and draw. She started really young, about 3 years old, and then her sister was born, and as the years she would draw and draw. And then her sister got old enough to pick up a crayon and start to draw. Her sister was really good. Whereas my friend Michelle, she could just draw stick figures and such. Her little sister could draw intricate tea parties and etc. And so what she did is she gleaned from that her sister was an artist and that she couldn't draw, and that she was stinky at it. Her sister grew up to be a very good commercial artist, and she grew up not just thinking, but knowing. She knew, and she lived from that knowing that she wasn't creative. And so we teach in New Thought, because the universe, God, whatever you call it, expresses through you, you must be creative. But many of us have these erroneous ideas that we're not creative.
Well, we really all are creative. Ideally, we grew up around people that inspired that and complemented whatever it is we were doing, whether it was perfect art or not. In fact, in my life, I love to draw, to create, and do all types of things. And I had other cousins and people in my life that were far better than I was. And so they were called the artists. And I was just, okay, she's having some fun. And I did, for many years, tell myself, I'm not an artist. I love to do it, but I'm not an artist. And the truth is, once I started studying New Thought, is that we're all artists. We just have to find our way. And if you have that divine urge within to paint or draw or play music or bake or whatever it may be, that's spirit. That's your intuition saying to you, you can do this.
Right.
And if you step out of the box and give yourself permission, if you wait for the world to give you permission, you're probably never going to do it, like your girlfriend.
Right.
But if you allow yourself to just try it, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, will give you all the clues and all the support that you need so that you will be able to do it to the best of your ability. We're all not fine artists or great musicians,
Right.
but we all have talents.
So Kenny, when did you have this desire? Because desire, literally, the word means of the Father. When did you have the desire to begin your musical?
Well, I just had a thought about what you said about that little girl, though,
Yeah.
and you, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes families support you and tell you that you are good at things, and sometimes they don't.
Exactly.
This little girl obviously didn't have the family backing her saying that, and she really had to find it on her own. When I was younger, I have 7 brothers,
Oh.
and
Wow.
and we all love music. My mother,
God
who's
bless her.
out there, yeah, she had 7 boys in a row in 8.5 years.
Any twins?
No twins in 8.5 years, and no twins or triplets.
7
or anything.
children in 8.5 years.
7 boys too.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Is she still alive?
And yes, she is. She's 83, and she still comes to my concerts.
Oh, that's
Oh.
great.
In fact, well, not to get off the subject, but my mom, she raised us basically by herself because my father died tragically when the oldest was 12 and the youngest was 3. So my
dear.
mother is a saint.
Yeah.
She really is.
But so she didn't have time to really. I never took a music lesson.
Oh.
Never did, and I really understand what that little. You found your own way. I found my own way. And you asked me how I found the creativity. Well, I mean, I'll have to say, listening to the Beatles when I was younger. I mean, a lot of musicians say the same thing. It was so amazing to see and hear such creativity coming out of them that I picked up a guitar myself when I was a teenager. Well, actually, I started singing before I was before I started playing music. But then I realized I had to accompany myself. So I'm totally self-taught, 100%. And I had to find it on my own. My mother didn't have time to even think of giving me lessons or
Probably
anything
no
like
money
that.
I
Exactly.
think so many of us are thwarted by negative self-talk because of that comparison thing. Like you
Yes.
look at yourself and you look at somebody else and you compare and you think, I'm not good enough. Did you have to manage that when you were younger? Did you have any negative self-talk that says, I'm never going to figure out how to play this song? Or
Well, there were times when I started learning on my own, and there are still times when I don't play things exactly correctly. Maybe if I was a little musically trained, I would get it easier, but I had to work hard at doing it on my own. But it definitely came naturally. I kind of forgot the question you asked, but
No.
it came naturally
And what
to me to do that.
and what drives your creativity?
Feeling that I have something to say, and that I believe that I know for a fact that I'm not the most unbelievable musician in the world, but I always feel like that I'm good enough where someone will enjoy it. And
No, well, you're a great musician. We really love you. You know what I think is really fantastic. All of life is in rhythm and motion. If you think about it, the planets rotate, the tide comes in and out, your heart beats and everything. So I think that music is critical to our well-being, literally critical
Like
to
I
our
said
well-being.
earlier, let music be your healer.
Yeah, music
know?
can heal you. Yeah, we were
Yes.
talking, we had a little break before and we were talking, music can heal you. And I know for me, you know, sometimes my work is challenging. I'm a full-time chaplain. I do a lot of weddings. Those are usually easy breezy.
I did one with you.
We did one together. That's right, out at Baiting Hollow Vineyard, right? That was a beautiful day,
That was
by the way.
nice.
That was very nice. And other times, you know, working as a chaplain, I do a lot of celebration of life memorial services. And people are in such deep mourning and they're having such issues. And, you know, it's easy to just your heart kind of breaks for them. And so I would go out every single week and hunt down live music because I just feel live music just is really
Brings you back to your center.
brings you back to center. Yeah, it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important to a lot of people. Music is extremely important. And I had mentioned to you just a few minutes ago that there are some people, though, that, and I can't fathom it, but music, it means absolutely nothing to them. I mean, zero. There not too many, but there are a few. And that, you know, maybe I should try to convert them.
Yeah. Well, maybe if they heard you play a few times, they'd be naturally converted, right?
No,
Yeah.
you're being kind.
And well, later on, we'll be able to hear a little bit. Kenny's going to play a song for us, so you'll hear for yourself and you'll see I'm right. So when you talk about creativity and we get on that subject, we are by our nature creative, and because the universe created us, that means then that we're each extravagantly created because the universe is limitless. So that means that our capacity to imagine is limitless, and so that our ability to create. How does the factor of imagination play into your work as a decorative? And tell people what a decorative painter is before you answer that, please.
Decorative painter, I paint furniture. I'll take an old piece of vintage furniture and change it up, paint it, stencil it, do a little hand painting, sand it back. I mean, there's so many different avenues. Walls, I do all kinds of wall finishes, glazes, and luster stones, and Venetian plaster, some mural work, custom stenciling. And, you know, you just take these materials, and there's infinite number of ways you can kick anything or mix up colors, and it's true. You just create. You don't know really how you do it, but I know for myself, it's that divine inspiration. Sometimes I'm on a job and something isn't working, and if I try to handle it myself, it's like the old, of myself I can do nothing, but if I can just breathe and just allow myself to take a moment and just ask, the inspiration comes. And then all of a sudden I have that idea. Add a little more white, do this, do that, you know, switch it around a little bit, and before you know it, it comes out beautiful.
It comes naturally
It
to you
comes
to do that?
naturally,
Really?
yeah.
Did you have any schooling for any of that?
I have since I gave myself permission to paint and stepped out of the box and started doing it. Like I said before, then all of the divine support showed up. Somebody mentioned to me that there's a school that you can go to for wall finishes. So, you know, and I paid attention, and then I did it.
Because you could always learn more and
You could-
add it to what comes
I'm-
naturally.
I love
to
that.
you.
I'm always in school.
Yeah,
I'm
we're always
learning
in school.
more.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Well, don't go too far because right after this commercial break, we're going to learn more about how you are creative. So stay tuned for more of Spirituality Rocks.
Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am divine.
Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is one of the largest suppliers in the world and your number one resource for top quality, affordable tattoo and piercing supplies. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is the number one supplier of tattoo inks in the world with more than 200 products including Mom's Ink, Philadelphia Eddie's Traditional Inks, Paolini Sacred Color Inks, and more. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply, your one-stop shopping destination for great service, best prices, and top quality supplies. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are undeniably distinctive, selected for their unique, memorable flavor. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are delivered to you in beautifully designed bottles featuring limited edition artwork. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are available at affordable prices in fine restaurants, bars, and liquor stores. Or check www.coneyislandcarlo.com for availability.
YesWeCare.net is a 501c3 charity that provides help to veterans and their families. Please visit YesWeCare.net and donate in any way you can by purchasing our beautiful framed prints or relaxation CDs and DVDs, even smooth jazz CDs. YesWeCare.net. Remember, our troops are on their way home. They need all the support they can get. YesWeCare.net.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns, and I teach practical spirituality. Today, on Spirituality Rocks, this episode deals with creativity. Our premise is because that the universe, God, infinite intelligence, spirits, whatever you call this energy, essence, and power that created the universe, that it expresses in you, through you, and as such, you are naturally creative, but not necessarily how you may think you are creative. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But right now, I want to introduce and reintroduce my guest in the studio this week. This is Dr. Maria Hughes. Dr. Maria Hughes got stuck in traffic on Southern State. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice to have
Thank
you, Dr.
you. It's
Maria
great
Hughes.
to be here.
She's a poet. She's an artist. And she's also one of my colleagues. I actually ordained Dr. Maria Hughes. She was part of the New Thought Spiritual Community. And next to Dr. Maria Hughes is the Reverend Karen Giganti. She's also a New Thought minister. And Karen has a company called Sacred Spaces, and she's a decorative painter. And at the end of the sofa is the fantastic genius musician. It is Kenny Forgione of the band Wondrous Stories. And Maria, we got a treat. Kenny's going to play a little later.
Oh, are you? I just watched you on YouTube before I left the house.
Oh boy.
What'd you think?
Great.
Wasn't it great?
Little Harry Chapin, huh?
It's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
hundreds of
Harry
videos. I don't
Yeah.
know
It's
what's,
very
you know,
nice.
what's out there.
Great. I
Awesome.
just appreciate anybody who can sing
Yeah.
and play. It's a magnificent talent.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, you know what we were talking about earlier? We were talking about everybody is creative, and because the universe created us. New Thought teaches, Kenny, you may not know this, New Thought Practical Spirituality teaches that the universe that expresses through you, there's two main aspects. The two main aspects are love and wisdom. So love is the glue that holds the universe together. Love draws and attracts to us. Whatever we focus on, whatever we love, will draw to us. And then the other thing is wisdom, meaning that we always have divine ideas. And I have a story about that, because a lot of people, we were saying how you've been taught misinformation and we compare ourselves to others and we don't think we're creative at all. And there's a story, this is a true story, of a guy, he was out west, and he kept on having hunters come on his property, and he didn't want that because he had small children. And so he would, put up signs that would say, keep out, or he had signs up that said, stay off the property or we'll shoot at you, but nothing worked. The hunters kept coming. And then he got creative, and he kept asking himself, what ideas? What could I do here? And the universe gave him the idea to put up signs that said, rattlesnake sanctuary. Now, it's an amusing story, but it's a true story. And then, of course, all the hunters stayed off his property. That's being creative, allowing yourself the space for ideas to come. But a lot of times we get ideas, we go, oh, I can't do that. How am I going to do that? I'm not smart enough, etc. How do you make yourself available to ideas?
Well, you stay open. That's the first thing. You stay open to what's coming through you. We usually get this feeling that, oh, that's not me talking. Where's that? I'm talking about writing now. Where's that coming from? I did a memorial a week ago, and 2 nights before that, I was going to bed, and something said, get out of bed, go and write. Well, I did, and the man's name was Elliot. And so I wrote this for the memorial. I have to leave you for a while. It's a poem. But it was actually came through from Elliot.
Divine inspiration.
But now we're speaking about New Age, we're speaking about religion and everything else.
Well, we're not
but
really
truly,
yeah, we don't talk too much about New Age. We talk more about
Well-
New Thought.
well, new thought.
There's a big difference.
I stand corrected.
No, because I'm making it a point, Dr. Maria, at this show to say that we teach New Thought and not New Age. Because
Okay.
New Age uses tools, crystals, this and that. And what if you leave your crystal home? So that's why I like to say New Thought.
I
But
left
go
my
ahead.
crystal home.
Yeah. Then what do you do?
What do you do? I don't know.
Exactly.
I
That's why
don't
we
know.
do New Thought.
That's way
go
off
ahead.
what I was going to say.
Sorry.
But when I wrote this, I have to leave you for a while. Then I went to the memorial, and the wife burst out crying and everything. And she said, when did you have this feeling? And I said, Thursday evening. And she said, my son had the same thing. So, but the idea is you can stay in bed and say, oh, I'm not going to get up. But, it's coming through from someplace. You're inspired from some. How do you choose a song? How do you decide to sing that song or play at a particular time? Now, that's working through you. And what you're saying is right. It's an intuitive touch of whatever you desire to call God. It's an intuitive, and it comes from inside you. And yes, many of us are afraid to touch that.
Yeah.
You say, oh, somebody's going to laugh at me. I'm not going to do it well. But if you go with it, it's successful.
Yeah. Well, it's divine divine inspiration. rather.
Intuition, yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I think we're getting it. We're all getting it all the time. We're just not paying attention. Some of us, and when you start tapping into it and paying attention, it'll never steer you wrong. You're always, you're always guided to that new idea, that new solution, whatever it is you need to know. It really is. The more we study these ideas and study New Thought, the more hopefully we become aware of just how powerful we are.
People
You
get
know?
things, but sometimes they get them, but they're afraid to
That's
let
it.
it out.
That's
they
exactly
really are.
right.
And
Or you've heard from someone else that you're not an artist, you're not a good enough musician, you can't write poetry, whatever it may be, or I know somebody that can do it better. And if you absorb that and take that in, you'll put the brakes on, and
Right.
you may not do it.
Right.
I had a Girl Scout troop years ago, and I had a project for them. It was like the first few days of the troop, and one little girl said to me, "Oh, I can't draw." And I said, "Who told you that?" And I don't
That's
even know
true.
if she knew who told her,
Yeah.
but she had just decided,
Yes.
I can't do it. And I said, yes, you can, and you're doing it. And by the end of that troop, by the end of that school year, that kid was one of the best, most creative
Right.
children in the troop, because somebody had to tell her, no, you don't think that way.
you're right.
Right. Kenny?
You need a breakthrough. You
Yeah.
need a breakthrough. I remember myself being afraid to, really wanting to say something, even in a classroom or something,
Yes.
and afraid to say it. But you know what? People really appreciate it when you come out with,
Yes.
Right.
whatever you come out.
You know-
This show in particular, this show is not scripted. I will tell you that. That is.
I think they
that is
figured
that
definite.
out. Scripted.
If you're on the Tonight Show, I'm sure they're talking about what they're going to talk about.
Right.
I had no idea what was going to happen here, and
Right.
I don't think anybody else did
No,
either.
no.
No,
I-
well,
I
we
mean,
knew our
didn't-
topic. We knew our topic was
Yes,
creativity.
creati-
That's all we
That's
knew.
pretty broad, though.
Yep.
You know.
Yes.
This reminds
But
me
we are
of my
allowing
gig.
Spirit to speak
I
through
think
us.
that's the point he's making.
what
What were
we're
you going to
doing.
say?
This reminds me of my gigs. It's not true for all bands, but
Right.
and my gigs, most of our gigs, we go in without a plan, and we do have a large repertoire, but we play whatever feels right at the moment. We change our set. I've seen bands, and they're good bands, but they don't change the set list, and in fact they do it in the same order.
See?
I am so glad that I'm with people that can create right on the spot, and we play a different
Right.
set list every single night, unless it's a set album or show that we're
Yes.
doing, which we do that sometimes too.
Right.
But you need to let it out,
Yeah.
and people really appreciate it.
Right.
They really
Yeah.
you
Stay
got to let it
fresh.
out. If you keep it in, it's
No.
You know what? I
It
want to
goes
talk.
nowhere.
Yeah, I want to talk about that more specifically after the commercial break in just a moment. But you know, we did have a plan in that we each had a quote that I gave us about
Yes.
creativity, so that could ruminate in your brain. But I don't like a scripted show. I like the idea that we can be conversational, because I think that's when the gems really come out.
Yeah.
When people really get some good spiritual food.
spontaneity.
Yeah, spontaneity. So then my question is, how do you create the space for the spontaneity? How do you do it? Do you meditate, or what do you do, Kenny?
I believe in meditation, but to be honest, I don't really meditate.
Okay.
I don't really meditate. I actually
I wonder
It's
if
a
you
weird-
meditate when you're playing, actually. If that's
maybe,
a form of meditation.
Maybe it is a
Sure.
form
Yeah,
in certain.
I think so.
When you get locked into a groove, it really is. It's
Yeah.
nice.
You go into that place.
If you're in a
That's
bad
the
place,
thing.
it's
Right.
it's not great, and I've been there
Exactly.
too. You know.
Yeah.
But I actually try to read the faces of the audience and see
That's exact-
who's out there.
That's true.
And I do.
That's
I really
true.
do that. And sometimes I'll see somebody out there, and I'll just play the song just for that person, not caring about anybody else in the room. And if it made that one person happy, I'm happy with it. But and hopefully it made the other people happy too. I
Sure.
don't want to turn anybody off. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's really
And you
great.
feed that too, yeah, and you feed that too.
Because you're getting yourself out of the way. It's not about you. If you're open to listening to that divine inspiration, you're probably saying the song that that person really needed to hear.
I've never seen your work, and I would really love to see it, because I really do love seeing nice murals and sculptures and art and stuff like that. I would like to see that.
Okay.
You know, it's people like you who are creative are amazing. You know,
Yeah. It's inspirational too.
Right.
You know, I think we're more inspired by other people's creativity,
Sure.
Right.
rather than that self-talk.
I can't
we were
do what
talking
she
about.
does
Well,
at
it just
all.
you don't
You know,
know
it's-
that.
you
You
can't-
don't know
Well-
that.
Well, it's what we're-
I'm an
True, but I-
artist too.
It's what we're talking
and you
about.
don't know. As
Yeah.
Karen said, the little girl who said, "I can't draw." Everyone can draw.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It may not
Would you
be-
believe Picasso? What would somebody say to Picasso in a school? Oh, you're out of your mind. What are you doing? What does that mean?
Everybody can draw, but some people are more natural and
Right.
are-
Some people
like
want
And
to
I
do
wouldn't be
it.
able to pick up a guitar and sing a song. So
Right.
No.
everybody has their talent.
Everybody has a
you could be
talent.
taught.
Well, maybe if
Well,
Kenny teaches you.
You know what we were talking about before is people have different types of talent. It doesn't have to be just
Exactly.
naturally be an
Exactly.
artist. So,
Right.
but look at the time already. It's time for another brief commercial break. Don't go too far, because right after this commercial break, we are going to be hearing some live music from Kenny Forgione, yeah, of Wondrous Stories. So we'll be right back with Spirituality Rocks.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am divine.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns, live in the studio with Kenny Forgione of Wondrous Stories. And I'm so excited that Kenny's going to sing for us live right here, right now, doing a little acoustic version. Take it away, Kenny Forgione.
Okay, I have a confession to make. So this is very short, by the way, this song. But the reason why I'm singing this song is because this is Spirituality Rocks. And when I was younger and heard this song, I thought, and when I thought about it today, I said, this is a good song to do. It's kind of spiritual. And also, I've been fighting allergies all week, so I'm singing something in a very low register, so I'm cheating a little bit. So anyway, here it goes. This is a song that some of you may know. I listen to the wind of my soul. Where I'll end up, well, I think only God really knows. I've sat upon the setting sun, but never, I never wanted water once. No, never. I listen to my words, but they fall far below. I let my music take me where my heart wants to go. I've swam across the devil's lake, but never, I never make the same mistake. No, never.
Was called The Win by Cat Stevens. Please come back and join us on the couch. What I'd like to look at right now, welcome back, is this idea of divine discontent. I'd like to talk about a phenomenon that happens to all of us. On occasion, our innate creativity, our natural inner desire to express imagination and originality, it shows up disguised. And it can be so disguised that it could be misinterpreted as something else completely different from what it really is. It could show up as unhappiness or frustration in our life. We can show up with frustration with ourselves and with others. Or it might be blocked circumstances, or that our life doesn't seem to be working the way we want it to, or just a feeling of being unsettled. And it might be that nothing is wrong, but it could just be that we're not expressing our creativity to the level that our divine self desires to express. See, life is always for the greater expansion and expression of itself. And as such, you see that I love when I see a flower going through the crack in the cement. I was like, wow, that's the universe just seeking expression, you know? And it's always for the greater expansion and expression of itself. But sometimes we can thwart it with our unwillingness to allow the creativity to express.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fear.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned this before. Truly, our lives are our canvas. And so it doesn't have to be a big thing. You can express your creativity in any way. And if there is something that you want to do, but you're not doing it, exactly what you're saying, sometimes that does create such a confusion in your life and in your body, and you're upset for the wrong reasons. You're upset not for what you think you're upset about. You're upset because you're not giving yourself permission to shine and step out of the box.
Well, you know, with creativity, if no one is supporting you in trying to express yourself, like the movie She Had His Back, the movie about football, I have your back. If you grow and in a family or with friends or with those you love, and they sort of appreciate you or push you forward, you allow more of your creativity to come out. But being criticized, somebody saying to you, no, that's not right, don't do that at this time, you're not going to get any place with that. This is what stifles the creativity, again, then bringing on the sadness, the depression, the unhappiness.
Right.
Creativity is spiritual.
Yes.
But we are human beings.
Yes.
And there's a delicate balance.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's true.
And I'm not afraid to say, as a human being, the song I played over there, I'm going to be on, I played that song 100 times.
It's beautiful.
I don't know why, but I made more mistakes in that song tonight than I
Oh,
had.
you know
no,
what?
But
There are no
but I'm
mistakes.
fine with it.
But-
I'm fine with it, but I'm willing to admit it.
Right.
But it's okay, you know, because the feel.
Because you know you're confident enough in your own
Right.
ability.
Right.
And also, I don't think we would have noticed unless you pointed it out.
Well, you know, I'm not afraid. There's somebody out there who knows the song.
There's somebody else who knows it. Okay. Over here,
But
we're
that's
sitting over here.
okay.
We're going, yeah.
But I'm
cool,
okay with
that's
it
fantastic.
because, creativity is spiritual, but we are human beings.
Right.
And for some reason, I just had a slight mental block, which I usually don't have.
Okay.
I mean, I get more nervous playing in front of sometimes very small functions than I do in front of 1,000
Exactly.
people. You know,
Right.
so you know, but that's part of being human too. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you
Yes.
know what? We actually have a video of you from YouTube that we spliced out just about 2 minutes of it for you singing, and we could play that right now.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
Is that the well?
It's
if-
the.
May I mention that?
Well, aren't you doing BB King Saturday night?
Not this Saturday night, the 24th.
Tell the people about it. These are for people who live on Long Island, of course.
May and Manhattan or wherever you live,
Right.
seeing this. May 24th, we're playing the 45th anniversary. Actually, May 23rd, the album Tommy from The Who was put out, and that's a very. It's actually a spiritual album if you really think about
Sure.
it.
Yeah, it is.
Very.
Someone who was put in a bad place when they were a child and grew up to be something special. You know,
Right.
and we're playing that May 24th, the entire Tommy album, And I think they're going to play a little piece from when we did the 40th anniversary 5 years ago.
Oh, okay,
so that's
great.
when that was at BB King's. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
All righty. So Tom Mealy is the owner of Madhouse TV Studios. Take it away, Tom Mealy. We'd like to see that.
Welcome to the camp. I guess you all know why we're here. My name is Tommy, and I became aware this year. If you want to follow me, you've got to play pinball. So put in your earplugs, put on your eye shades, you know where to put the call. Hey, you getting drunk? So sorry, I've got you sus. Hey, you smoking Mother Nature? This is a bust. Hey, you love the things but normal. Don't try to gain my trust, 'cause you ain't gonna follow me any of those ways, although you think you must. We're not gonna take it, never did and never will. We're not gonna take it, gonna break it, gonna shake it, let's forget it, better still. Now you can't hear me, your ears are truly sealed. You can't speak neither, your mouth is filled. You can't see nothing, and pinball completes the scene. Here comes Uncle Ernie to guide you to your very own machine. We're not gonna take it, 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 never did and never will. Don't want no religion, and as far as we can tell, we ain't gonna take you, never did and never will. We're not gonna take you, we mistake you, gonna rape you, let's forget you, better still. We forsake you, gonna rape you, let's forget you, better still. See me, feel me, touch me, heal me. See me, feel me, touch me, heal me. See me, feel me.
And that was Kenny Forgione of Wondrous Stories. Kenny, that was fantastic. Woo! How can people find out about, we have a banner for Wondrous Stories. What's your web address? Tell us how people can find out about your shows.
Well, we use the British spelling of the word wondrous. It's wondrous, like Wonder Bread or Wonder Woman. It's WONDEROUS dash, you put a hyphen in between the Wondrous and the Stories. Stories is spelled Stories, wondrous-stories.com. It has most of our gigs on there.
And there's a phone number you can call. What's the phone number?
The hotline is 516-236-9079.
And now, you may not know this, but we have viewers from Japan and India. They show us the statistics. And so those people can just go onto YouTube and put Wondrous Stories and check you out.
Oh, they'll find us, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. That's fascinating. So we're looking at this book here. We were talking about, this is a book by Michael Beckwith. He is a New Thought leader. It's called Spiritual Liberation. And what he says is that the key that unlocks the storehouse of conscious creativity is already within you. And you turn the key with purifying practices such as meditation and interior prayer, techniques that cause a deep inner relaxation and a silencing of the ego. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. I'll give everybody a chance to think about that. We're going to take a brief commercial break, and we'll be right back with Spirituality. Ready, everybody? Spirituality rocks.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully, I follow my inner guidance. Peacefully, joyfully, I am
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns, and I teach practical spirituality. As mentioned earlier in the show, if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to me at the Guiding Light Foundation, and that's Post Office Box 472 in Woodbury, New York, we will happily send you these affirmation cards. They are wonderful to help you either introduce you to New Thought or help you to remember there's a power within you. One of them is about success. One of them is about intuition. There's all different ones. And so we're happy to send you these. Also, for a $10 tax-deductible donation, we will send you this CD. It's called Tunes for Transformation, Spiritual Affirmation Jingles. And what they are is affirmations set to music. The intention is to help you control the negative self-talk, to help you get out of the ego and get you in tune with the power within you. One of the ways we do that in New Thought is with affirmative prayer. And so right now, what I would like to do is an affirmative prayer. In affirmative prayer, it's also called spiritual mind treatment. Why? Because you take your mind and treat it literally to a spiritual thought. We do not beg, cajole, or plead a power outside of us to do something for us. What we do is get centered within and connect with that power. If you'd like to learn a lot more without it, please check out other shows of Spirituality Rocks. You can go on YouTube, or you can go right to spiritualityrockstv.com. And if you check out Spirituality Rocks TV, you can search Dr. Ken Gordon. He was on last week, and he talked a lot about affirmative prayer. Or Dr. John Waterhouse, we did a whole show on that. Dr. Bill Marcioni. So there's lots of ways that you can follow through. But let's go within right now. So I invite us, everybody on the sofa, if you want to close your eyes. But I just invite you to take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And what that is a nice nonverbal message to the subconscious mind that you're ready to receive. And I speak the word in the first person. And I have an attitude of gratitude for the awareness that there's only one presence and one power, God's Spirit, that expresses in me, through me, and as me. And I am a creative being. And right here, right now, with this affirmative prayer, what I do is I allow myself to be open and receptive. I allow myself to be aware of the spiritual understanding that I am creative, that my job on this planet is to discover the power within me. It is to cultivate and deliver my gifts and my talents and my skill. And so right here and right now, I expand my receptivity and capacity to receive divine ideas, and I am open and receptive to them. Any thoughts that would tell me that I'm not creative, I just discard them and allow the natural wellspring of ideas to infiltrate my consciousness and then come forth into my life and affairs. I experience a sense of ease and freedom and joy, trusting and know that my creativity expands and brings me peace of mind and abundant success in every area of my life. And for this I give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. So it is. Very nice.
And that was an affirmative prayer. That's how we do it.
Very good.
So I want to go across the board, and I just want to reintroduce you to Kenny Forgione of Wondrous Stories.
Yes.
Reverend Karen Giganti, a New Thought minister who has a company called Sacred Spaces. She's a decorative painter. And the Reverend Dr. Maria Hughes is a New Thought minister, and she is a poet and an artist. So starting with Kenny, how do you get out of the ego, and how do you nurture your spirit? What are some of the ways that you do it?
Out of the ego. Well, I guess I try to blend in with, as you see, I wore a neutral colored shirt, so I didn't stand out. What comes to mind is after a gig, I get very wound up on a gig. I mean, my wife will tell you, I get extremely wound up. And when I come home from a gig, I can't sleep. So, and I can't get enough music. So sometimes I put on classical music, sometimes I put on some beautiful orchestrated rock music or something to wind me down. And in a way, that is a form of meditation.
That nurtures your spirit. And that nurtures your spirit.
It totally does.
Absolutely.
And it makes me just relax and...
bliss out.
Yeah, it really does.
And when you're in that bliss...
It's a form of meditation, I guess.
It is. And Deepak Chopra talked about that. And he said that when you're in that space, you're in bliss. And so you're in the flow.
Right.
Yeah. Karen, what do you do to get
well,
yourself...
of course, I meditate and pray. And then sometimes the best thing for me is just take myself on an artist date. I call it an artist date.
Oh.
And I'll go walk through a fabric store, or I'll look through magazines. I'll just find something and just paint it for the heck of it. I just allow myself to just be, and sometimes just go to the beach, be in nature. And all of those things, depending on the day and the time and whenever it hits, one of those just gets me to that really divine focus, and I just feel so connected. Like you said, there's like no time. Time dissolves.
Time dissolves.
Right.
Yeah.
And Maria, tell us how you...
Yes. Well,
Oops.
I actually think of children. I think of the beauty and innocence of children. I think of the fact that they give unconditional love, no matter what circumstances they're born in, no matter who their family is or how they're being treated. Ultimately, there's a purity there. It's a beautiful purity. The other thing I do is listen to singing, music, Luciano Pavarotti, Frank Sinatra.
Kenny's down with that.
John
love all
Denver
that.
takes me into the mountains of Colorado.
Everyone you mentioned, I love.
And
I really do.
that is where I can really go to find my peace and my own creativity.
Okay, cool. What I do, I like to visualize light. There's on Facebook, Revolution by Light, you can check it out. And one of the gurus is teaching literally visualizing light, that you imagine like an ocean of light above you and then it just comes down through you, and they recommend taking 7 minutes every day and just visualizing light. It is so relaxing and so empowering and so nourishing. So that's one thing I like
That's
to do.
interesting.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll talk more about it, but it's that simple. It's really that simple. And then another thing I do is boating. My brother has a boat, and he lets me use it. I use it during the week. He uses it on the weekend. I'm always out on the boat in the summer. I have it down to 2 hours, where I can get up, 7 o'clock, boom, out and back in my desk by 9 o'clock. And just sitting out on that water, it just nourishes my spirit.
Beautiful.
And then I also like doing affirmations. I like to talk out loud during the day, and I like to say, okay, today is a great day. Today I'm going to be peaceful, productive, and prosperous. Today I'm going to run into the right people. Today I'm going to be happy and successful. And then I tell myself I'm happy, 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 because I like to watch that. What's that show? What's that TV show? The mountain guys with the beards.
Oh, my goodness
I love
gracious.
that show. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Okay, well, whatever.
I
I'll
can't
think of it in just a
either.
minute. Sometimes it takes the brain, the synapses a little
Yeah.
while to connect there.
Duck something.
Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty.
He's happy, happy, happy. So I walk around during the day and I say, I'm happy, happy, happy. I take a pencil, a chalk pencil, and I write on my mirrors. I write affirmations. I listen to music. That's one of my big ones, is I take myself out. And then, of course, prayer. Of course, prayer. And then you can't beat getting silent. Getting silent is not easy, but if you practice visualizing light, it is.
Okay.
So I want to tell you about the upcoming shows of Spirituality Rocks, because next week we're doing Transformational Breath with Judith
how
Kravitz.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got some
wonderful.
great shows. I mean, I'm just so excited about what's coming up. That is just
I
beyond.
have her tape.
You have her tape? I
Yeah.
actually took the training. I'm certified in it. It's
Right.
one of the most, of all the trainings I've taken, it's one of the ones that I used most often. Not in its complete process of
Right.
healing, but just in my everyday experience working with
Right.
people and teaching them breathing techniques to
Probably the
relax.
brides.
Yeah, and teaching the
Oh,
brides.
that
And well,
comes in
I use it mostly when I do celebration of life memorials, frankly, but I do it a lot with the weddings as well. Another thing is, following that, we have Dennis Merritt Jones, and he wrote this book, Redefining Moments, and he puts the re in parentheses, so it could be read Defining Moments and Redefining Moments. Fabulous. He's going to be with us on Skype. He's just amazing. We're having this lady, Wah, W-A-H. Check out, Kenny, you would love Wah. She does this thing with music that make your head spin. She is so creative, and it's just, you listen to it, you're in the flow, you're in the groove. It's absolutely fantastic. So I invite you to check us out on Facebook. Please join us on Spirituality Rocks. Tell your friends, www.Spirituality Rocks TV. I want to thank my guests for today, Kenny Forgione from Wondrous Stories, the Reverend Karen Giganti, Sacred Spaces, and the Reverend Dr. Maria Hughes. Thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you.
Spirituality.
Fun.
Tell your friends about our show. If you have any ideas about the show, just write us on Facebook and let us know, and we'll get that guest. Give us some ideas. And thank you. We'll see you next week on our episode of Spirituality Rocks.
Thank you. Thank you.